Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Premier C. My name is Andy Oliver, and tonight, a very special occasion. We're here at the London Hilton in Park Lane. It is, of course, the Children's BAFTAs Awards, and I'm off to see if Cracker Jack's up for one. I wonder. The BAFTA for Best Feature Film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows 1 and 2, up tonight. What is it about the Harry Potter movies that makes it so endearing and so popular to the public of all ages?
I think that all of us would like to think that magic really does exist, and I think that's what Harry Potter does. It taps into that desire that we all have. It's also such an amazing world that J.K. Rowling created and that the filmmakers managed to translate onto film. This idea that there is a real England, a real London, but through into another dimension, there is this other place, Hogwarts, that really exists. And I think also that's quite tangible. And I think that I think it taps into everyone's desire that they want to believe in magic and that there is something better.
What was the experience like for you working on set on those movies?
It was amazing. I feel so honoured to have been one of these few actors, these great actors. I mean, we had all the good and the great of the British acting scene on these films. And each film we did, I was excited to see who we might have next. And I think by number 8, we actually ran out of British actors. There were no more to be had. Yes.
Now, you must be honoured to be here to present, but also for your programme, The Slammer, to be nominated for Best Entertainment for Kids.
Yeah, absolutely fab. We're thrilled to bits. I mean, it's the second time it's been nominated. I think we've done 4 series now, and how we still managed to get all the great acts and everything is just brilliant. The whole team that do it all. I mean, I say all the team and everything. Obviously, the most important for the person is me. But Steve Ride and all the is a great producer, and Joe Godwin, who kind of helped Steve create the Slammer. It was such a great invention. Years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when they asked me would I be interested in doing a children's entertainment show, I thought it would be like Junior Showtime, a little stage, and here's our next performer. But Steve came up with that idea, and when I was trying to explain it to people, I said, well, the idea is it's a prison. And there's all these kids come in, and all the acts have committed crimes against show business. People are going, what? But that's it, and it worked, and it's just a gas. Best job I've ever done. Love it.
You've been in the business for a long time. You've got a lot of wealth of experience. How's it changed for you over the years with regards to not only television, but your stand-up as well? Because stand-up's obviously changed since over the last 10, 20 years.
Well, the great thing about when you've been in it as long as I have, and I've been in it for over 30 years, 35 years, is as regards to stand-up, is that the people now don't remember me gags the first time round, so you can recycle them again. The one thing that never changes is that you're going to be deep now, but I think that the acts that get on well and stay are people who've got warmth. You can always be clever, you can always be cutting edge, you can always be, but if people like you as a performer more, I think that's great. You still see great pros like Brucey still doing it, Des O'Connor's still doing it, and I think the great thing is that now we don't have this shut-off thing anymore. You're never too old, you're never too young. If you can still hack it, you can still do it, you know what I mean?
There's an award going tonight, and it's nominated, Friday Download. What makes that programme so special for that sort of age range?
A show like Friday Download has never really been done before. It was kind of really innovative and informative, telling kids like all the cool stuff to know for the upcoming week. So I think people kind of immediately wanted to watch it because they thought, I can get ahead of all my friends on the cool new stuff.
Yeah. What about your movie career? You've obviously been in a lot of movies recently. How was acting in the movie Horrid Henry then? It must have been a great experience for you. It
was a fantastic experience. I met one of my sort of idols, I guess, Matthew Horn, because I really like Gavin and Stacey. I also met some fantastic kids who I'm like friends with now, and it was generally a really good experience. Also, meeting Kimberly Walsh was like very good, as you can imagine. Yeah.
Did you find you matured as an actor on set during that movie?
If anything, I probably immatured as an actor on that set because I was out of all the kids, because there's a lot of kids in the film, I was a lot older than the others. I was 15 and all the others were 10, 11, 12. So I but because I was hanging around with them, I think joined in with their like little games and stuff.
You're presenting an award tonight, yes?
Yes.
You must be extremely honoured to do that, especially with it being the BAFTA Academy Children's Awards.
Absolutely, I'm completely honoured, and I keep saying it's really lovely. I was here about 12 or 13 years ago in a drama that won Best Educational Drama, and it was the first award ceremony I ever went to, and it was so exciting and such an honour, and it's kind of lovely to be back and kind of partake a little in it.
What is the special ingredients to make a good children's programme? You were in the famous Five, I take it, weren't you? So you started off well. What ingredients are we looking for in a children's programme?
Good stories and good children. You need good children, good little actors, and there's lots of those around. And maybe the odd animal thrown in, stealing the scenes.
What about your acting career as well? You're obviously currently treading the boards in the West End. How are you finding that?
It's exhausting. So one evening off, but it's really nice to come and do something fun and not have to kind of be dressed as a man, which I am in the show. And so something like paint my nails. It's great. I mean, we've been doing it for a while already, since May this year, and we've got a long way to go. And but it's been such a lovely success, and I think people are just really enjoying it still, and you can't really ask for more.
When you started off your career, 10 years ago? How do you think you would have taken it if you'd had to go on to a reality show to be formed as a pop group? Because you weren't.
I think, I was trying for so many years to get a break. If that opportunity had come about, I probably would have took it as well. But them shows weren't around when I was trying to get into the music industry. And I just think, if it's going to give you a step in the door, then why not?
Now, obviously, your programme, The Legend of Dick and Dom, up for a BAFTA. You must be extremely honoured that one of your series is up.
Yeah, very, very honoured. It's the third time it's been nominated this time, so hopefully it's going to win. This is the 8th time we've been nominated as well for other shows we've done too. So, but we're very proud of The Legend Dick and Dom, because it's our first kind of venture into the world of sitcom, I suppose, and acting. We've never really done that before. We've always been known as presenters. So, fingers crossed.
We worked really, really hard on it, and we had an excellent team of producers and directors behind us as well. And the finished product, it looks great. They look like little mini movies themselves. So, fingers crossed, but you never know the way it's going to work on BAFTA night.
Do you think maybe as you get older you might move into more adult comedy on the television?
Well, it's interesting you say adult comedy. I think that's if we ever moved as well as doing kids into adult, I don't think it would be Saturday night Ant Deck style stuff. It would actually be more kind of Tuesday or Thursday night BBC Two comedy. I think that would be the kind of route that we'd want to go to.
I think that'll be a few years yet. We're kind of totally focusing on where we are and where we're at.
Now, obviously, growing up, when you did 80s, 90s, who were your influences growing up on television, as in children's television?
Both pretty much the same on that one. Philip Schofield, who now does Dancing on Ice this morning, used to be in the Broom Cupboard, which is like the presentation links on CBBC now. So we were watching him when we were little kids and kind of grew up with him and wanted to do his job.
But also in the 90s as well, it wasn't strictly kids TV, although it was a family event, but The Big Breakfast with Chris Evans,
Chris Evans.
Who now does Radio 2 in the mornings, and he used to be the first presenter of The Big Breakfast, and for me that was gold dust, and he was the guy that I watched that made me go, I want to do that. That's what I want to do as my job.
Well, Laurie, you must be extremely proud, because obviously you're presenting tonight at BAFTA.
I am presenting tonight, and I've been to the BAFTAs for the last 4 years. I've often attended with Nickelodeon, because that's where I used to present, but now I'm actually presenting the award for Best Short Form. So, yeah, it's an honour. I'm very excited.
What about Nickelodeon? Do you think it's changed over the years since you presented? Has it evolved with the current generation?
Well, I only left Nickelodeon at the beginning part of the year, so... and the show that I used to present, I kind of was really involved with. I helped write it and sort of put the whole thing together. So it's good to see that that's continued. But no, I think Nickelodeon is a great channel, and there's loads of great kids channels, production companies out there, and that's obviously what tonight's about, celebrating it.
I've asked a lot of the guys tonight about what makes a special children's programme these days. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should say the presenter. No, I think actually it's about a great creative team. You know, TV isn't just about the presenter, it isn't about one particular person, it's all about the team working together, and whoever comes up with a fantastic production idea, you know, it's down to that.
What about Britain's Got Talent? What do you think of that type of show that showcases up-and-coming talent?
I think it's great to showcase up-and-coming talent on one hand. On the other hand, I think there is a wealth of up-and-coming talent in the clubs, you know, professionals who are struggling and have worked very, very hard. And I don't quite know, although I love to see people being given an opportunity who are very talented, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this immediate projection over some people who've been grafting for years and years and years and years and probably didn't have the right novelty factor to get them on something like X Factor or Britain's Got Talent. And I think that's a danger. I mean, everybody goes, oh, it's amazing, did you see that? And you go, oh my God, you know, theatres and clubs are full of these really talented people, and I hope they're not, you know.
What are you up to at the moment?
I'm working, I'm doing a show with John Sessions, and I'm doing a couple of series that I can't really talk about as yet, and I'm hopefully working with Alistair and maybe Rory Bremner on a new project. Yeah.
I've got to ask you, who's your favourite impersonation? Out of all the voices and characters that you did, who is your favourite?
I think, darling, it's simply got to be Audrey Hepburn, because nobody remembers her anymore, because everybody's so old, everybody's so young, because I'm old enough to remember, but now nobody knows who you're talking about. But she was up and down and all over the place.
Now, the last time I saw you, I remember seeing you on a motorbike. Is that right? I seem to remember you being into...
What was this?
I seem to remember you on a reality show sometime.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Sorry, it's sort of like gone into the ether now. No, that was great fun. Really, really great. Travelling around England with a bunch of, you know, amazing people like Jonah Lomu and the rest of the guys and challenging. I never thought I'd be in a competition with Jonah Lomu, to be honest.
Must be a bit of formidable type of person to come up against, the sheer size of the man even, is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy and he's obviously one of the most amazing athletes and competitors, but he's a big softie. He's a really nice guy, so it took away the mean, scary Maori look. Yeah.
What are you up to at the moment? What projects have you got working on?
I got my production company, Current Sponge, and we're working on a sort of feature documentary on international drugs policy, so the failed war on drugs and trying to call for a rethink of policy at the moment.
So you're doing your bit for society in terms of getting the message out, a certain message.
Yeah, I think the company's sort of based to make positive social impact programming, so change the way people look at the world. It gives people a clear explanation of very complex subject matter on TV, and that's the aim, really.
Tony, looking at the world, I've got to ask you: are you going to go up there? Up with your dad into space?
I'm meant to be, going on the first one, which. Incredibly excited and obviously cacking myself a little bit. So until we have a set date, I'm not going to get too nervous, but it's going to be incredibly exciting.
At the moment, I've got a production company going called Black and Blue, and we've just finished making 3 films last year. We're making more films this year. So I've just finished directing a movie called Stalker, which is out on DVD at the end of January. So I'm quite busy at the moment.
Do you think you see yourself more behind the camera these days, using your experience behind the camera rather than in front?
Do I see myself more behind? Do you know what? It's a lot easier being behind because you don't have to get your makeup on and you can stay in your jeans all day. But no, not really. I kind of do a bit of everything, you know, and I think that's the thing that I've learned is that you do kind of what you enjoy. You know, I've reached a point, I think, where I don't do one thing because of a career to get to the next stage. What I do is when something comes around a corner and it's whether or not I'm going to enjoy it.
What about your band starting off in the 70s and 80s? How would you have formed if you'd been around now with all the reality shows and the way it's changed since the 80s especially?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone says it was easier or harder in the old days, you know, or it's harder nowadays. But it's not. It's exactly the same. It will always be 30 acts in the top 30. No matter how you get there, it's just a different route. You know, when the Spandau were around, we were there for maybe 12 years, and things changed while we were there. You know, music TV came in the middle of the 80s, so everything changed then. It went from radio being important to television, MTV being the most important thing. And that was a big change. And now we have the internet and reality shows, so that's a big change. But it just means that people have to think outside of the box and think of new ways to get into the top 30. But you will always have the 30 bands in the top 30. So it will always be the same.
What about the band? What about the music? Is any plans to keep that going? Huh?
Spandau.
There's a tour just recently, wasn't it? You went on tour.
We toured for a year, a couple of years ago, and I loved it. You know, it's the most fun I've ever had. But whether we're going to do it or not again, I think that's up for discussion at the moment. Yeah.
You've Bring back a lot of memories for you from the 80s? I'm an 80s boy as well. I've got a lot of memories of the 80s.
There was a lot of memories, yeah. I mean, it was a great thing to do, you know. It was a good thing because the band went through a lot of bad times when we split up. You know, there was the whole court case and the whole thing that we went through that everyone knows about. And it was great to get rid of all of that off your back and just to get back on stage and see the guys again and to get rid of all that angst. It was one of the nicest things.